Good morning.
I will say very few words in Greek and I will switch into English for you to know to use your headphones. Είναι μεγάλη μου τιμή και σας ευχαριστώ.
So it's a great pleasure and honor. I'd like to warmly thank you for the invitation. Indeed, it is a very important honor. I've just had an attack of allergic asthma, and I found out what violence is all about because it does not allow you to express yourself, to feel safe and speak. And to say whatever I wanted to tell you. So I hope my asthma gets better and I'll be able to speak calmly.
And to celebrate together the European Antibullying Network's 10-year celebration. I see this really as a unique opportunity for me, for Cedefop, to join our efforts to soon celebrate a decade on eradicating school violence and bullying. It may seem now as a dream, but dreams may only become true where there is a constant and great effort from all those who can make a difference. And in my opinion, this event today did manage to bring together all of you who can really, really make a difference. And I was really struck from what the young lady said this morning, that we can't do it alone. So we really need all of you, all of us. Let me tell you a few things about Cedefop, which is based in Thessaloniki, in the north of Greece. So Cedefop is the European Centre for the Vocational Education and Training, and also celebrates a big birthday next year. It's a Golden Jubilee. So Cedefop actually moved from Berlin, from Germany to Thessaloniki back in 1995, and from 50 whole years, it has been our mission to develop and modernize vocational education and training to try to empower every student, every learner to have a brighter future in employment and in its life. And we believe that promoting vocational education and training for excellence may only happen if we strive for safe and inclusive educational systems that care and respect every single learner, enabling them to thrive not only academically, but also emotionally and socially. So today I wish to make 5 very, very brief points. First, preventing bullying and violence in youth is a top EU policy priority. And all EU's efforts are endorsed by several policy frameworks and initiatives like the Pathways to School Success or the European Commission's guidelines for supporting well-being and mental health in schools. The EU is also prioritizing the development of strategies to prevent and address hate speech and cyberbullying through various working groups, projects, and funded programs. Actually, this same afternoon, there is a European webinar about the parental involvement to address anti-bullying, where all European ministries are involved. A second point is that despite this political commitment and all the progress made so far, there is still a long way to go to fulfill the dream of eradicating bullying and cyberbullying in Europe. As you may very well know, 1 in 3 students are victims of bullying worldwide, and 1 in 10 students are victims of cyberbullying. This is based on the latest UNESCO's data. Within this, only half European member states, they do have concrete policies to address bullying, and fewer than less European member states, they do have policies to address cyberbullying. And I'm sure that this event will give a great opportunity to learn from good practices. I've shown in the agenda good practices and inspiring policies from Cyprus, from Ireland, from Italy, from Iceland, Norway, Sweden. So many countries gather here today. And it's a great pleasure to learn from all of you. A third point I would like to make, which somehow comes closer to what I work on at Cedefop, is that tackling violence and bullying at school is also preventing dropout and facilitating school success. All forms of violence, as you may know, in education hinder learning. Research indicates that victims of bullying are much, much more likely to drop out from school. And today, 1 in 10 students in Europe are early school leavers, means that they have left, they drop out from school, and they have never qualified in upper secondary education. But what does this mean? What does this number mean in reality? An early school leaver faces fewer employment opportunities, may be trapped in precarious jobs, and it is very rarely that he participates in further education and training, in lifelong learning, so somehow perpetuating cycles of poverty and inequality. Moreover, you may know that being an early school leaver, it is more likelihood to become socially inactive and drop into the category of what we call NEET, a person who is not in education, training, or employment. At Cedefop, and particularly my personal work, we fight against early leaving from vocational education and training through several means. We have been supporting evidence-based policy making for decades now, and we're providing practical tools like the VET Toolkit for tackling early leaving or the VET Toolkit for empowering needs. So we've also established a European network of ambassadors to promote peer learning, to inspire from good practices in promoting educational ecosystems. So a fourth point that I would like to make, that was also heard this morning by the young ladies, is that school leaders and teachers need to receive effective training on addressing bullying throughout their careers, but also support for their own well-being. So teachers' well-being and teaching performance is also affected by violence. 80% of teachers worldwide, they've been also victims of any kind of violence in schools. And this leads, as you may imagine, in high levels of stress, burnout, reduced job satisfaction, when in turn impacts the quality of education they can provide. You may understand that when teachers are demotivated or feel unsafe, the entire learning environment suffers. So policymakers must create frameworks which enables teachers and all school staff to get the necessary training and support. At Cedefop, we give great emphasis on teachers' continuing professional development, and actually we will launch in the next academic year a very novel survey in order to gather evidence that doesn't exist still in Europe. It's the European Vocational Education and Training Teacher Survey that will be actually carried out in 22 member states, where we will learn the opportunities that teachers, trainers, and school leaders have in accessing quality, continuing professional development in order to help them and support to address issues of violence and bullying. The results will be available at the late of 2026, and I would be very happy to share with all of you. A fifth and final point is that, and also, it was amazing that I also heard this morning from the two young girls, somehow I think they summarized my speech. It was not need for me to come today. Tackling violence and bullying at school is a collective responsibility. It requires a whole school, a whole community approach. I said that a bit earlier too. To effectively address an issue which is a social phenomenon, it needs a comprehensive, a holistic, and interdisciplinary approach, engaging multiple stakeholders, not only those who are directly concerned, like the parents, the teachers, or the students themselves, but we need the policymakers, the social society, the civic society, national and regional policymakers, social workers, psychologists. So basically, we need every single person who is in this room today. So let's join forces to create a safer and more inclusive learning environment for all young people. To build violence-free schools, we must end violence in and through education. So let's join efforts to make the smile of the child a bigger and a brighter smile. Thank you very, very much.